Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to DuckTales Remastered. So we're on the last level, so we're going to the moon. So let's go forward. I assume it's this the last level.
Way to the moon, lads. But the green cheese of longevity will make it worth the trip. Up, up, and away!
I don't was there ever a thought that there was green cheese in the moon, or the moon was made out of green cheese? I don't think so. If anything, you would think it was made out of Swiss cheese full of potholes.
Gosh, Mr. McDuck, I've never been to the moon before.
Well, when it comes to space cadets,
I just realized their lips don't move.
Now, Gyro,
So,
why in blazes are we chewing this awful
Finton
muck?
is the guy that turns into the robot.
Chew, Mr. McDuck. It's my latest invention.
He's the one in the middle.
Oxygen-flavored taffy.
So they
5 good
they
chews
just
and you can
animate
breathe on the
slightly
lunar
more when they
surface without
talk.
a spacesuit. Oh, and it tastes great too.
That, Gyro, is a matter of opinion. Now, which way to the green cheese?
What do you mean? Isn't it all around us?
Yeah? How do you figure?
Everybody knows the whole moon's made of green cheese. Well, that's what my dear mama said.
And it take a feather brain like you to believe her. Ugh, sometimes I don't know what I'm gonna... Wait, what's that?
All of a sudden my controller is vibrating. I do believe this is the first point in the entire game where the controller is vibrated.
Mr. McDuck! Help!
I could be wrong about that,
We've
but
got to save him.
Do we
we'll try in this level and we'll see if it vibrates when I hit an enemy or
Fenton
take
was
damage or
carrying the
something.
Gizmo Duck suit. That's the only thing we've got powerful enough to break into the moon vault.
All right, fine.
So I guess
Stay
he's
in
not
charge
so
of
much
supplies while I look for that bumbling bookkeeper.
he doesn't really have so much a secret identity as. Alright, so I would assume that what happens is you in regular play would bounce a little bit higher. Looking at this level, it does seem like that would be the case. Can't really talk to this guy though, so you're just going back there for no reason. So it seems like we're going upwards to get collectibles first, and then downwards to defeat the final boss. So this does feel like it is a strategy that is this game is trying to exhaust as much as possible every possible combination, everything that would happen. This game needs like a never touch the ground mode, but I'm not sure it's actually playable that way. And almost certainly, if you did play that way, you would run into some trouble finding all the collectibles. But yeah, I just took hit and didn't really feel the vibrations as strong as I did before. I think part of the problem is and I don't think this is specifically an issue with this game as much as it is it's vibrating now, of course, when the ship's coming back up.
Well, I guess this means I'm invited on board.
So yeah, I don't think there's a reason not to go up. What's weird is all of these cartoon characters do kind of feel like they are from different cartoons. There's kind of no visual consistency in any of this. If you were going to animate a cartoon that was humanoid ducks, you would think you would have a lot more characters that were actually humanoid ducks and not a large collection of people that are just aliens. Yeah, I think it is kind of just a problem in general with games that are programmed to use the vibration force feedback, that they don't really have any kind of adjustability to them. So I don't know why that would work that way. Like, I have no idea why it would have you just fall. Checkpoint me right there, and then I'll fall to my death. And it's not like you're losing money or anything. Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of feel like they need to constantly have the vibration force set at a very high amount. And there's like no adjustability on Windows as far as I know.
Blast me bagpipes! A piece of Gizmo Duck's suit! Oh, if only I had a way to open this door.
So we've got shielded doors. And if we learned some new ability in the final level, that would be weird. And we kind of know there's gonna be something somewhere. And what would be really surprising is if it turned out that there actually was thousands, if not hundreds, of collectibles I missed because there's some kind of ability or something. They've got some mice. So these shields don't hurt me. We started the game tutorializing the step on the switches, but after the tutorial level, we never stepped on switches again.
I think those aliens wanted to suck out my brain and make an army of Fenton clones.
Bah, they'd soon learn that one of you is one too many. Now, help me find a security override so we can get to your Gizmo Duck suit.
You mean this?
Security system disengaged.
Fenton, you're a genius.
Gee, Mr. McDuck, do you mean it? Oops.
Warning, damage report. Artificial gravity system is offline.
Fenton, you're a nincompoop. You broke
I
the gravity
definitely would not
controls.
appreciate
Not to worry.
floating
All
rats.
Jiffy. I got a level 3
Or floating
certificate
mice.
of technology from Happy Ducky University, you know.
Oh, no you don't. You'll probably slam into the self-destruct button too. I'll get us out of this.
So now we are able to interact with these switches, which we weren't able to do before.
Gravity system restored. All systems normal.
Nice work, Mr.
Weird,
McDuck.
so that
Now,
just this
let's go
room,
get my Gizmo Duck suit.
I have to assume that
Thunderhead.
we'll
You go
run
make
into a
it
different
sound.
room
I'll find
without
a Gizmo Duck
gravity.
suit myself.
That was odd that he just walked off screen without a line of dialogue. So we have to be careful, because what we don't want to do is break that, because we need to
I call a Rudy.
get that. Alright, so this goes up there to hit that. And it doesn't look like there's another thing. So I could go back down and get the other piece, but it seems like we're going to have to go back down anyways. The game's not going to be kind enough to have us go shortcut. Or maybe it will shortcut us and then I'll have to just duplicate some of my movement. Why we're fighting robotic ducks, I don't know. It seems like maybe the aliens are capturing duck people and then turning them into robotic ducks. I don't understand how that was supposed to happen. Wait a minute. Let's ask this question again. Okay. So there was something here I missed. There's another health. Super easy. It's a little awkward just jumping. The pogo jumping is really nicely programmed, but the standard jumping is a little awkward in its controls. So yeah, nothing more there. Just get rid of that. Just trying to find as much gold as possible because we know we're going to be in a bad position as far as unlockables. We're probably only going to get 1 million. Maybe we'll get lucky and get 2 million. Unless the game just decides to give us like 10 million gold for no reason at the end of the game, or we're not anywhere close to the end of the game, that might be the case. You have to be careful every time you see these round rocks because there's a decent chance that they are supposed to be used for something else. And I suppose there could be any kind of collectible anywhere, like any square inch of a level, which is just bad old-fashioned lack of breadcrumbing.
Looks like I found Gizmo Duck's armored suit. It's a good thing Gyro rigged up this hyperspace pocket for me to carry things around in. Now, only 2 more parts to find, and we can break into that moon vault.
Yep. So yeah, you're just going back down. The game's not gonna be super generous there. And notice how they put a ledge there, so if as you're falling down, you don't have a chance of accidentally hitting somebody. So yeah, we're now going down this way again. There does seem like things are just respawning, and that may just be I missed things. There you go. Not close enough. Did I not travel this direction? No, I hadn't. So I need to be careful and look around. And those enemies flying around can be an indication that there is more treasure somewhere, anywhere. So can I get under this section, because I have to hold X, and then I would have to, yeah. So that was particularly difficult even for being on easy, but I didn't die, so I'm fine. A modern game definitely would have a slight difference in bricks or a shining pixel or something that would indicate that this is the place, this is the thing that you need to be at to find some collectible. And generally speaking, you just would not have a collectibles appear out of nowhere, because that doesn't motivate people to keep playing. You have a scenario here where easily somebody would just assume that there are no collectibles in this game because they don't see them. Like, why would I jump around? Of course, the tutorial level took care of a lot of that, and you almost certainly could not accidentally finish the tutorial level without having found some of these gems. But I could also see some people saying it's not worth the time. Let's see. Interesting. So that's an upper area. I can reach every height, it seems, so I don't really know why I would need... Yeah, I don't really know why I would need extra enemies to help me gain more height. Unless... maybe that's the difficulty setting. Maybe you just jump a little bit less. I assume if I jumped to the left, Mrs. Beakley would have been on the other side.
Risking your life on an empty stomach. No more danger till you eat every last bite.
You're worth your weight in gold, Mrs. Beakley. If you'll pardon the expression.
Oh, why can't you take up golf like a normal tycoon?
It's a good point. Yeah, it makes no sense though to, when playing this on easy, that you run into Mrs. Beakley and she gives you all this health. Yeah, unless once you get to hard mode, a very hard mode, you just do not get any health upgrades ever from random drops, and the entire level has to be played this way. But if this is a game that's also going to be kind of centered around, if this is going to be kind of centered around a limited amount of health, then everything that's dropping health at some point should probably drop gold, and then maybe that's how you get enough gold in one playthrough to unlock everything. It could also be, though, that if the gold rolls over, why not also have the have the health roll over? So maybe if you played this on easy, then played it on hard, then played it on very difficult, and then very difficult, maybe you would have 12, 18 hearts of health. And that would be kind of silly, because you really don't need that much, unless the guys get really more difficult. This is probably the hardest section I've seen so far in the game, and it is totally a section where it's totally a section where like your health wouldn't even come into play. Like I could get hit by these guys all day. So I'm holding down the X button and yet I'm still getting electrocuted. So there's something weird going on here. I do have this fear in the back of my head that maybe we'll just grab that because that'll
I've always wondered what Gyro was thinking when he designed this thing. Who fights crime with a unicycle?
it's so ridiculous too. He puts on the wheel unicycle and his legs theoretically just like disappear in it. It doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, but I do kind of have this fear that maybe there is a point in this game that is just unbeatable. And that's why it's not available for sale anymore, is because it does the old NES trick, which so many games have done. So many NES games did, where they just were not beatable at all. And I don't mean that they were incredibly difficult. I mean that there were definitely some NES games that were programmed to be impossible to beat. I kind of think the Ninja Turtles game for NES was actually impossible to beat. Now, with the Game Shark and the Game Genie and things like that, you might have been able to cheat your way through that and do level selects. But, yeah. Let's just go down this way. But yeah, I don't think there are definitely some games that were not legitimately beatable. Interesting, it killed the enemy when it went into the cutscene.
Fenton actually gets smarter when he wears this thing. Maybe I'm a wee bit too hard on the lad. Now that I've got all three parts, I can head back to Fenton and Gyro. I hope it's not too late.
So he's not gonna fast travel you or anything. So it almost, let's see. Now we want to go this way because we haven't been here before. Like it's kind of regrettable that Uncle Scrooge is the main character in DuckTales, and even the name is not specifically unique to Uncle Scrooge. He's kind of a character I would want to write out of the show after the first season, because they had created so many other characters that were more interesting than him, and not a little bit abrasive as he is. That the writers pretty obviously did not know what to do with Uncle Scrooge, and I don't I don't disagree with that. Like he is a difficult character to be anything, unless you're just going to make him the founder, the money bags of it, and then you're going to send all the other characters on adventures. Like he can be the Charlie of Charlie's Angels, for lack of a better term, but making him actually exist. And you could write that into a story pretty easily, is that he's just going to exploit his friends and family and have them go out on adventures on his behalf, and he'll just pay everybody a commission. Alright, so you can't get past that part, and there's a decent chance I'll die, and then that would just be a fast travel. Yep. still dying way more often because I'm just awkwardly dealing with the controls and falling down the ledge than I am dying against enemies. You would have a problem though if you played this on very hard or difficult mode and then you never got any health upgrades, because then that whole health upgrade system that's been programmed and added to the game would become useless. So worst case scenario I could imagine is on very hard you start with 1 heart and then you upgrade to 4 hearts. The gravity does not seem to treat anything differently here. It did feel like we were going to maybe bounce higher, but it doesn't happen.
I managed to find all of Gizmo Duck's suit.
Oh boy! Now we could.
I wonder if we would have gotten a cutscene if we'd come here after we found each piece.
Gyro,
Probably not.
I think I left my favorite $2 bill under the back seat. Would you mind getting it for me?
Sure thing, Mr. McDuck.
Gee, boss, why'd you send Gyro back onto the ship?
So he doesn't find out you're Gizmo Duck when you put on that suit, you dunderhead.
But there are only 3 of us here, sir. Won't he figure it out anyway when Gizmo Duck appears and I've mysteriously vanished?
I wouldn't worry about that. Gyro may be a brilliant inventor, but his deductive reasoning skills are about as good as yours.
Oh, hey!
Would you just get
So,
on with it?
I guess
Say your
maybe
secret code word and activate that
maybe it was an
contraption.
idea that
Code word?
Uncle Scrooge
I can't
pretended
remember it.
to
Oh,
that he
blathering
was the
blatherskite,
robot.
I'm useless. I mean, I'm useful to the extreme. Point
It's
me
like
toward
the
impending blockade,
robot
so that
takes
I might do
over.
justice upon it.
Cut the dramatics, would you? and
But you can
follow
see
me.
his legs pretty much could not possibly fit.
Fenton? Gizmo Duck? Huh. They're gone. And all I could find was this $2 million bill. Oh well, back under the seat it goes.
So now we've got another companion character, and he's just gonna shoot rockets at everything. But these guys seem like they're still gonna be big enough to cause trouble. So the real question is, what happens if I climb up here? Does he follow me? No, he doesn't. So he has to stay somewhat on this level. Yeah, I would say this is a game that particularly doesn't use the vibration setting. Like,
This is the place. Gyro's calculation said the green cheese of longevity
which
lies
makes
just beyond
sense.
this
There's
door.
never been an automated way to add vibration to a game. You could base it on the sound effects and just how, if there's anything with bass, cause a vibration.
The path is clear, good sir.
Good work, Gizmo Duck. Now,
But how are those guys breathing?
Flint-hard
They said that the other guys
what are
had,
you doing here, you pernicious
the good
pilferer?
guys had gum that let them breathe. Magic. Oxygen releasing gum.
Why, you... How did you find out about the green cheese?
Wouldn't you like to know? But thanks for saving me the trouble of blasting through that door on my own.
I'll stop him, Mr. McDuck. Halt, evildoer!
No, Gizmo Duck. I need you to help me deal with the... Beagle Boys. Ah.
So, can't walk this way. I would have made that guy, Seamus, or whatever his name is. I would have made him the main bad guy of every level. Or I would have, at the very least, written a story to say that all the bad guys have been defeated by Scrooge McDuck, and now they're working together, each going to different worlds, to different levels, to collect treasure and set a trap for him. There's another green section, so it seems like we're probably going to have something that we have to do to break green sections. Maybe not.
Up I go.
And we have the glowing light around ourselves. No reason explaining why that exists. Yeah, I screwed that up. I knew as soon as I swung, I knew that was going to be a mistake. And yeah, that chest is now gone forever. Let's see, we got all the collectibles, so there's only a tiny little bit more to do. And then we'll, yep, at this rate we'll get 1 million, and I think that'll be that. I imagine there's not gonna ever be a point where you would be close enough to a boss that you would have the infinite coin, which is straight up just a reference to Super Mario Brothers, but I don't hate it. And you can't really blame it too much when you consider this probably came out at most 2 or 3 years after Super Mario Brothers, the original DuckTales game, did. There's too many treasures in one place. Like, so one more health upgrade too. Honestly, 3 treasures would be the maximum I'd ever want in one secret hidden level, and I didn't want a lot more secret areas. But you do definitely have opportunities for that. They could also have a 3rd tier of gold, so it's not just small yellow, big yellow, and red, and big ruby. You could have had a small ruby to add, I guess, technically a 4th tier of gold. But you could have also added diamonds or emeralds, sapphires, different colors. You could go the full gambit of different colors. There's all kinds of gems out there. And yeah, it looks like we're just gonna walk into the boss fight here.
Mirth and be merry. I made it here first. No, not the cheese. Anything but that.
The rat eats the cheese and becomes a giant mutated rat.
Great Scott! I thought that stuff was supposed to be an anti-aging culture, not an instant growth fungus.
So this brings out an interesting thought. It would probably be a better storytelling element if at the end of each DuckTales story, Uncle Scrooge gets his comeuppance in part by not getting the gold, or not getting the treasure. I assume that when they're green, they can't be hit, so I'm gonna take that as true and just go into dodge mode. So the pattern here is pretty easy to see. It's not that difficult by any means. Although on more difficult levels it might be challenging. It doesn't look like it gives any health or anything. Well, although my health is so high, it may just choose it doesn't need to give me any health. This is, yeah, super easy. Which is great, because then if this game was for sale, or if you just happen to have this game, I would probably recommend it for kids. At least on easy mode. There's nothing here that feels undoable for a little kid, which is great, because that's really the target audience you'd want for this game, is little kids, on top of nostalgic adults.
Giant moon rat or no giant moon rat, nothing's gonna keep this duck from that green cheese.
We saw the rat literally chew the cheese. How he would regurgitate it whole makes no sense. But yeah, Uncle Scrooge always wins, and he kind of doesn't deserve to win, which is like a terrible story to tell. It's like, it's the worst story to tell. Uncle Scrooge would be a great foil, or a kind of bad guy, maybe not actively doing bad things, but he makes a terrible hero. It's almost certain that they didn't even consider like the hero's journey and hero archetypes that have existed for hundreds of years when they were writing Uncle Scrooge. But he may have made sense, certainly when the comic book was happening, and
boys?
And the Depression had happened, or was happening.
Sorry, McDuck, but your meddlesome nephews are a wee bit tied up at the moment.
Flintheart Glumgold, you put the Beagle boys up to this.
Guilty as charged, Scroogey. I've been the world's second richest duck long enough, but these treasures will soon change that.
Oh, tell your goons to release my boys.
So, is this going to be a boss fight?
Don't do it, Uncle Scrooge. Don't do it.
Or is this going to be an entire level?
Yeah, aye. You drive a hard bargain, Glumgold. Take it, you filthy cheat.
This might just be a cutscene. He may just eat the cheese and turn into a monster.
How does it feel to be number 2, Scroogey?
Magica dispel!
Oh, it's so rude of me to drop in unannounced.
What are you doing here, Magica? Quick, somebody sound the alarm! Duckworth, Mrs. Beakley, call the Pentagon. Sell me stock and bonds.
Not so fast, fools.
Whack-a-roody, Uncle Scrooge. I can't move. Me neither. Now I know how a statue feels.
Greedy old fools. These treasures are far more valuable than money.
And just what do you mean by that?
You find secrets hidden inside old painting, yes? Painting of Drake von Gladstone, also known as Count Dracula Duck. These treasures are part of spell to summon him.
Bah, what rubbish.
You will see. With power of Dracula Duck, under my command, I will rule the world.
I didn't think he was going to actually play a part, even though we'd seen him as a character.
Unless you'd rather surrender number 1 dime, Scrooge. Dime is much gentler way to conquer world. Will save me great deal of trouble. Also, less risk of accidental Dracula bite.
The first dime I ever made? Never.
Then I will take precious nephews instead. You will bring me dime quickly enough after that.
So, like, here you know Scrooge right there. He would choose greed over his nephews.
Now I take leave.
How did they
Bring
shut the
number one
door?
guide to my
How did the
home
pig
on
shut the
Mount
door?
Vesuvius in 24 hours, or little nephews will become snackula for Dracula. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh dear. Sometimes I still get
The subtitles are
away.
taking like severely longer to spell out on the screen than the
good sons.
dialogue.
I stole those treasures fair and square.
This is no time for bellyache and Glomgold. I've got to save those boys.
Pah, forget it. That she-devil's long gone. You can't catch her now.
Maybe you're right, Flinty. That leaves me no choice. How about a deal? You help me get the boys back, and you can keep the 5 treasures.
Ha! Without your dime, I'll become the richest duck in the world, and you'll be nothing but a shriveled up old has-been.
That dime's not worth 10 cents next to the safety of my boys. Do we have an agreement?
Are you joshing? It's a deal. You know what I think, McDuck? I think you've gone soft. You've let those pesky rugrats become a business liability, and I'm gonna be the richer for it.
Oh, go soak your head.
So, what's weird is they don't like mention what happens to any of the other characters at the end of any level. So, what happened to Gyro Duck? What happened to Weeby? What happened to
You keep up your end,
the
and I'll keep up
computer one, the robot one? Okay, let's can't run away. So, yeah, I think there's probably enough here to do one more episode. So let's end this episode here. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.